Peaceful day, everyone. This is Nikisha with FavorFlowRestorative, Harmony Unleashed, Mind, Body, and Soul. We're back with feeding your demons. So we're going to be doing step 4. So let's get ready to clear the energy. If you have sound sensitivity, feel free to turn your volume down in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for steps 4 and 5, I am not going to focus too much on facing the camera or making too much eye contact, because I really want this to be more of a visualization exercise, an exercise of being able to go within and thinking about your own demon. So I'm simply going to take you through the steps, okay? If you have not seen the intro to Feed Your Demons or steps 1, 2, or 3, I invite you to go and look at these videos first before engaging in step 4, okay? And so step 4 is going to be feed the demon and meet the ally. So for step 4, just as a review, in step 3, it was becoming the demon. So in step 4, you're going to allow yourself to take a moment to settle back into your own body. And then once you get into your own body, you're going to see the demon opposite you. So that's the reason why I was talking about as far as physical space in step 3. I just sat on the floor, you know, and was able to do the exercise in that way, just visualizing the steps in that way. So whatever makes sense for you, just whatever that physical space is. And so you're going to see the demon opposite of you. The next step is dissolving your own body into the nectar. And what do I mean as nectar? The nectar is going to be the feeling. So back in step 3, the last question we asked the demon was, when I get what I really need, I will feel. And that was an answer. Like, there's no reason to be on step 4 if we have not sat with step 3 long enough to get the answer. And so if you're at step 4 and you are uncertain about exactly what the answer was to that last question, or what the actual nectar could be, if you're unclear about that, it's okay. And that's another reason why I'm breaking down the steps, is that sometimes we'll come to a step and it may not resonate at that moment. I know, and I can only speak from my experience. Whenever I was going through this process, maybe I wasn't ready for the answers. And so it's okay to repeat steps 1, 2, and 3, because again, we don't build relationships overnight. It takes time, asking questions, getting to know each other. What better way to spend your time than in being able to get to know fragments of yourself, especially if they're impacting your experience. Okay? We will go forward for those who do understand what that feeling is, because that feeling that the demon described, or the feeling that it said that it needed. When I get what I really need, I will feel whatever the answer to that has a feeling associated with it. And so as we think about that, it was really helpful for me to think of what that nectar looked like. Like, what color was it? Is it a golden? Is it even the texture, right? Is it more like jello? Is it runny? Is it, what in what form is the nectar fed? Is it sticky? Is it like honey? Is it like Dippin' Dots? What form is the nectar fed in? So after you come and you recognize whatever that form is, you're going to imagine this nectar is moving towards the demon and nurturing it. So you're going to offer it. You're going to offer it. And then in your mind's eye, you're going to notice how the demon takes it in. And this isn't a scarcity practice. As you're offering it, you are also going to recognize that you have an infinite supply of whatever it is that this entity needs. And so you're going to feed it to its complete satisfaction. It's going to be completely satiated after you've finished this practice. And you may see it transform. And so notice that. Notice if you see it transform and what the transformation process looks like, and recognize that that may actually take some time too. And that's okay. That's okay. This is a step that doesn't have to happen in just a moment in time. This can be something that may come up in the middle of the day, or when you see that it flares up in a certain situation. Now you recognize what it is. You're building the relationship with it. You're flexing the muscles and being able to create allies with it so that you can live life with it as an ally, as a friend. We're building relationships. Okay? So feeding your demon with love, like we spoke about in step 1, most of what the demon needs usually comes from a space of a lack of love. In some area, shape, or form, there was a demon formed there. And so feeding your demon with love will turn it into your ally. And so then that gives us an opportunity to now think, what does love mean to us? Like, what is the definition of love for you? And is there a universal definition of love that applies to everything for everyone? Because it seems that different people have different perspectives of what love is. And I think that from my experience, it's just that different people have experienced different levels of love. And if you've never experienced a deep, unconditional love, then you can't recognize that love is, that the definition of love is more vast than what it is, because it's truly a reflection of what your experience has been. And so that's a thing too, and that's why we're creating allies too, because when we create that love within ourselves, regardless of our experiences, regardless of our environment or anything else, cultivating self-love and investing in self in this way creates such a bright light within you that you can't help but just reflect it outward. I'll leave that there. So after you've fed it love and turned it into your ally, notice if there's a being present after the demon is completely satisfied. And this is what I'm talking about with the transformation, because I noticed that when we recognize a transformation, like when I think of transformation, I think of the butterfly. So it starts out as the caterpillar. And then how many of us can say that we recognize the caterpillar from the butterfly? Like we can tell which caterpillars become this type of butterfly. Because all of us look like a different transformation. And so during this transformation, it's okay that as you go through this process, if you become someone that others don't recognize, that's what I'm trying to say. Because it's going to happen, and that's okay. That's okay. And what's also okay is that sometimes people want you to stay in this space where they saw you last or wherever they left you. And that's not okay, because I think that every second should be a new opportunity to be or do something different if we're really here to evolve. And so that's just a lesson in forgiveness. And for those of you that may trigger, that may have kind of rubbed the wrong way, I invite you to go and listen to my forgiveness meditation, okay? So if you happen to see that a being is present, you ask it, are you the ally? And if it is, that is your ally. You'll work with them. That's another version of yourself. And the other alternative is that if it's not, or if there's not anything present after feeding it to complete satisfaction, invite the ally to appear. And again, this doesn't have to be in the moment. This can happen gradually as you continue to create relationships with this ally. Okay? So once you finally see the full ally, you're going to notice the details. So just as we notice the details of the demon, you're going to do the same thing with the ally. So what is the size? What is the color? What's the surface of its body? The density? Does it have a gender? Does it have a character, a personality? What's its emotional state? Does it have a specific look in its eyes that can tell you anything more about him or her or them, they? And just like we did the demon, looking closely to see if there's something that maybe we missed and didn't see before. Okay. And then at the point when you really feel connected with the energy of the ally, now you're ready to ask the 3 questions. Actually, it's more than that, it's 4. How will you help me? How will you help me? How will you protect me? What pledge do you make to me? And how can I access you? Okay, so you'll ask, how will you help me? How will you protect me? What pledge do you make to me? And how can I access you? And then the next process is changing places and now becoming the ally. Taking a moment to settle into the ally's body and noticing how it feels to be in the ally's body. And then noticing how your normal self looks from the ally's point of view. So when you saw yourself from the demon's point of view, is it different than the perspective of the ally's point of view, right? And then as you settle, and give yourself, be patient with yourself. Take as long as is necessary to be able to settle in to the ally, because it may be a different experience, and it may take a different amount of time than whenever you settled into the demon, okay? And so at that point, you're ready to answer the questions. I will help you by, I will protect you by, I will pledge to you by, and you can access me by. And then again, just like we said before, if you don't get the answers to these, questions, or if you're not able to kind of fill in the blank, be patient with yourself and take your time. You can continue to repeat the different steps until that part becomes clear. You can just stay with this step and repeat it until it becomes clear. Because you definitely want clarity. If we're going to do the work, we might as well gain clarity. And sometimes it takes time to find clarity. And it's okay. So take the time to really connect with your ally. Take a moment to settle back into your body and see the ally in front of you. And look into its eyes and feel its energy pouring into your body. So once the demon becomes an ally, now it can pour into you. And I feel like this is the same logic or the same perspective that I have when we look at adversity in life and we look at challenges. Like, we could call it trauma. That would be an easy thing to do. But the purpose of it, the true purpose of it, is activation. We want to activate, y'all. It shakes us to change us so that we can transform and evolve. It activates us. So give gratitude for those people who do, pour that little shadow, make you aware of your shadow, change up your life a little bit, change up your perspectives, because they're really blessings. They're blessings. The situations, they're blessings. The people, places, situations, places, they're all blessings in the name of activation. In the name of activation. So, as the energy is pouring into your body, now imagine that the ally dissolves into light. Notice the color of this light. And allow yourself to feel it dissolving into you and integrating into every cell of your body. And as you feel that, really take note of what that feeling feels like to integrate that energy, that integrated energy into your body from your ally. And then in that moment, in your visualization, in your meditation, then you both dissolve. You just both dissolve. You both dissolve. And so step 5 is simply resting in awareness. Okay? So if when you get to step 4, and even after you come to this part of the video and you just feel like you just want to rest, that is what this part is, especially if you've done your work already on step 1, 2, 3, and 4 before I release the meditation that encompasses all 5 steps. If you've done that work, that is beautiful. Allow yourself, rest in your healing, please. That's amazing. Okay? All right. Well, I'm going to leave this here. I'm not even going to bowl us out because once you find your ally, your vibrational frequency should already be at a high level. And so I trust that it is. And so it is. Peace, y'all.